What is up, everyone? So today I want to talk about how I made $40,000 in one day.
What?
And I'll go ahead and put the screenshot up here somewhere just so you guys know that I'm not lying.
This is real. No. That's a scam.
This is taken straight from the Gains Keeper and Gains Tracker, straight from TD Ameritrade's website. And this is from my account that I trade with. So as you can see from the screenshot, there are multiple transactions in here. These are basically from options transactions that I had made. And this was actually back in 2015, so about 3 years ago. I don't want to make this seem like, I do this every day where I make $40,000. This was definitely my best day that I've ever had. But as you can see, this is definitely something that can be done, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that this is not something that you can go out there and do every single day, day in and day out, and get this kind of result. There's definitely losses that come with this, especially when you're learning. This is why, before I did this, I started a paper trading account so that you can just kind of practice with fake trades. You can do this. Most brokerages offer a paper trading account, and this is definitely something that I recommend for anyone beginning in options, futures, even stock trading, just anything that you're new with. Definitely first do the paper trading just so you can get practice with it. If you're new to any type of trading, it's definitely very helpful to get a practice run. But this is also very different from actual live trading. When you're actually trading with your actual money, that's where emotion can get involved. And it's definitely a lot different from just opening up a paper trading account. You don't have any emotion with it. You really don't care if you lose money. But once you start actually live trading, that's where you can get emotional. That's really one of the most important things that you can do with trading is being able to control your emotion. So don't just think that because you made some great trades in a paper trading account that you can then go into a live account and do that. If you don't have your emotions under control, that's when you're going to really start to lose money. So now I want to go into more detail on how I actually did this. I bought a bunch of options from Netflix, and this was before they reported earnings. And Netflix is a stock that can really whip back and forth after earnings. It's not uncommon for them to jump 15-20+% after they report earnings. And like I said, this was 3 years ago, so this was really when it was trading, I think, around $100 to $120 a share. Yeah, I think before they reported earnings, they were trading at $100 per share, and then after they reported, they jumped to $120 a share. Right now they're trading, I believe, over $300 a share. So this is a company that's continued to grow very quickly. I actually own this stock as well as buying options, which is considered very risky because you're long. If you're long calls and long the stock, you can definitely lose money if it goes the other way. But fortunately, that did not happen, and I made a very good profit on this options trade. I also doubled my money on the stock. And then I sold it. If I had kept that stock, I would be up probably about 500+%. And I sold it for a gain of around, I think, 12,000, and that represented about 110% gain. So I made about 12,000 on the stock trade, and I held that for a little over 6 months, I think around 9 months. And I made about $40,000 on the options trade. And that was in one day. So basically what I did was the day before that they reported earnings, I loaded up on a bunch of calls. I think I had different strike prices from 110 to all the way up to 120. And real quick, I'll go into a little bit more detail on exactly what options are for those of you who aren't quite familiar with options trading. So basically one contract represents 100 shares of stock. So when you buy one contract, so say I bought a contract for $2, that would cost me $200, and I would essentially own 100 shares of that stock. So it basically gives you a way to leverage up your money, and the max that you can lose is the amount that you put in for that contract. So if it goes the other way, it's not like you can lose more than what you pay for that contract. That is the max that you can lose. So the max that you can gain is technically infinite, because technically the stock can go up to an infinite amount, but that is also very unlikely. But that is what you're hoping for when you buy a call. When you buy a put, that is where you expect the stock to go down, and that's where you'll profit if it goes beyond that strike price. So if I bought a strike price of $110 a call, so anything beyond the 110, is where I would profit. What I did was strictly directional, but I want to show you guys a couple different strategies that you can use. And this is called a short straddle and a long straddle. And I'll also show you guys, the directional plays that I did. And that's just, like I said, buying calls or buying puts. But with a long call, you're basically buying a put and a call. And with a short straddle, you're basically selling a put and a call. So I'll show you guys real quick what that looks like. So this is what an options chain looks like. And so you can go in here and basically type in any stock. I guess not every stock has options. So go to Facebook and that'll pull up all the options for Facebook. But we'll go ahead and stick with Netflix and put that in there. And then we'll go to calls and puts. And then range, we'll stick with all. And go ahead and go to view chain. And then, so I'm not sure, really how much detail I should go into about this, how much experience you guys have with this, but real quick, I'll give, a basic overview of this for some of you guys that maybe not familiar with options trading. Basically, when you buy an options contract, you don't own anything. So basically, when it expires, it's going to expire worthless, unless you decide to exercise that call or put. Then you would have to basically take that stock times 100 and take delivery of that stock. So if let's just say that you bought a 300 call with an expiration 5 days from now on April 6th. So if you bought that call and the stock went to 310, you would make a profit of 300 plus what you paid for the option of 525. So you would make $4.75 times 100. You would make $475 for that one contract. So say it doesn't go anywhere, it's going to expire worthless. And with options, you got to realize there is a time value and an intrinsic value with an options contract. Basically what the time value is as an option gets closer and closer to maturity or expiration, that time value will slowly erode day by day. There's also things like volatility that influence the price of an option. And then the intrinsic value is the amounts that option is in the money by. And what I mean by in the money is so 295. All these yellow calls are in the money, and all these are out of the money. So if you bought a 300 call and it moved above 300, it would then be in the money. And then if you go to the put side, so if you buy a put, that's where you expect the stock to go down, and that's where you profit. Is if so say you bought a 290 put, and the stock goes down to 285, that's where you profit. And then like I said, you can go pretty far out with options. You can go with Netflix. Looks like you can go 656 days out. So basically this is a great way to leverage your money if you don't necessarily want to own the stock. And then real quick, I want to talk about short straddles and long straddles, because that's a pretty basic option strategy. What I was talking about, if you just buy a call or buy a put, that's strictly directional. But there's also a lot of other strategies with options. You can sell calls and puts, and you could do covered calls, covered puts. You got short straddle, long straddle. You got something a little bit more complicated like condors, iron condors, butterflies. I'm not going to go into that because that's quite a bit more complicated. But real quick, I want to show you guys a couple of very simple strategies, and that is the long straddle and the short straddle. So say with Netflix, they're going to report earnings tomorrow. And you don't know which way that stock is going to go. You think it's going to jump up or jump down by a lot, but you're not really sure which way. So that is where you would do a long straddle, and that's where you buy a call and buy a put. So like I said, you don't really know which way that stock is going to go, but you expect it to move by a large amount in one way or the other. And because you don't know which way, you're going to lose money on either the call or the put, depending on which way it goes. Or you might lose money on both if it doesn't move either way. And that's where you would do a short straddle. And that's where you would sell a call and sell a put. And basically with a short straddle, what you're expecting is the stock to really not move anywhere. So say they report earnings tomorrow and you think, you know, options are pricing in a pretty big move, but you don't think that Netflix is going to move anywhere. You know, it might jump up or jump down a couple dollars, but other than that, you really expect it to remain flat. So that's where you would go in there and sell a call and sell a put, and you would collect a premium if it doesn't go, you know, beyond that strike price. So that's basically, you know, a really quick overview of options. You know, if you don't have any experience trading options, you know, this is going to sound pretty complicated and you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. You know, this is something that took me a while to understand, but it's actually, you know, not too hard to understand once you get a basic overview and grasp of it. And if you guys, you know, trade options, this is, you know, a very basic overview. You guys probably know, you know, what I'm talking about. That's it for this video, guys. I just wanted to show you guys how I was able to do this, and don't think, you know, like I said, don't think that you can go out there and do this every single day. This is, you know, if this would have gone the other way, I would have lost the initial $10,000 that I put in. But with Netflix jumping 20% the next day, that's how I was able to, you know, make $40,000 in one day. This is definitely something that's not common. You know, I've never been able to make, you know, more than what I did that day. So, you know, like I said, don't expect this every single day. You know, options is a great way to leverage your money, but you have to be very careful with it. And there's, you know, like I was showing you guys, there's a lot of different strategies that you can use that don't necessarily, you know, are directional, so you can really make money either way. There's a lot of arbitrage opportunities, you know, with, you know, selling calls, selling puts. That's a little bit less risky. You basically just collect your premium. And I shouldn't say those are less risky because, you know, if the stock goes above or below that strike price, that's where you'll start to lose money, and that's where the buyer of those calls and puts will basically exercise that call, and you'll be responsible for either buying or delivering that stock. So really the least risky way to do this is to, you know, cover your call or cover your put. So let me know if this is something that you want me to talk more about. Obviously this is, you know, a very brief overview of options, but if you guys want more information on options and want more videos on different strategies that you can use with options, that's definitely something that I can go into more. You know, I could probably make 10-minute videos on options and probably only cover a fraction of what you can do with options. So like I said, just let me know if you guys want more information on this, and I can definitely put some more videos out on this. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching.